U.S. Senator John McCain went to visit some troops in Afghanistan, and he left them with some very important advice. He said, clean your muskets. Obviously, we don't have muskets in the military anymore, but weapon cleanliness is still a big part of everyday life. A soldier should always have a clean weapon to ensure that it is going to work properly when the time comes for them to use it. But before you can clean your weapon, you must first know how to take it apart. In the military, we call this a field strip. A field strip breaks down your weapon into the parts that give the most common gunpowder or carbon buildup, which causes a lot of malfunctions. A field strip can be conducted in a few easy-to-follow steps. My name is Petty Officer Joshua Pierce, and today I will be demonstrating how to field strip an M16A1 rifle. Before we get started, safety is always the number one rule when working with weapons. Therefore, I need to ensure that I have a clear and safe weapon. To do that, the first thing I'm going to do is verify that it is on safe. There is a safe selector switch on the left side of the weapon, and it is pointed at the safe position. Next, I'm going to pull back on the charging handle, which is located right above the buttstock, which is going to allow me to look inside the magazine well and down the chamber. By looking down the magazine well and down the chamber, I can verify that there are no rounds present. Now that I've verified I have a clear and safe weapon, we can start taking this gun apart. The first thing we're going to do is remove these plastic handguards. So you're going to place the weapon on a flat surface with the barrel pointing up, and we're going to be using this round retaining ring, which is located right forward of the magazine well. You're going to press down that retaining ring, which is going to allow you to remove the plastic handguards. As you can see, it is separated into two parts. There's an upper section and a lower section of your handguard. So just press down on that retaining ring, and you'll be able to remove those. The next thing we're going to do is separate the upper and lower receivers. To do that, we're going to use these takedown pins. There's one located right here behind the plastic guard retaining ring, and there's one located right here, right in front of the buttstock. Go ahead and press on the opposite side of both of those retaining rings. And then pull back the rear retaining ring completely out to put the weapon in a shotgun position. And then you're going to pull out the forward retaining ring the rest of the way, which is going to separate your weapon into an upper and lower receiver, as you can see. Go ahead and set aside the lower receiver for now. We're going to come back to that in a minute. First, we're going to finish disassembling the upper receiver. To do that, we're going to release the charging handle by pulling back on it. When you pull back on it about an inch or so, you can see the bolt carrier assembly comes out. Go ahead and pull that out the rest of the way before it falls out and set it aside. You're going to completely remove the charging handle. We'll pull back a little bit, it's going to get stuck. When it gets stuck, just apply some downward pressure and it should come right out. That's all you have to do to disassemble the upper assembly for cleaning. Next, we're moving on to the lower assembly. The only thing to take apart in the lower assembly is this buffer, and there's a spring located in the buttstock. This buffer is being retained by a retaining pin, so I'd like to use my charging handle to press down on the retaining pin, which is going to release the buffer. It gets stuck on the trigger located right here, so go ahead and push down on the trigger to allow it to come past, and then pull your buffer the rest of the way out, along with the spring. Once you have the buffer and spring removed, disassembly of the lower receiver is also sufficient for cleaning. Now we're going to move on to the bolt carrier assembly. Like the name suggests, the bolt carrier assembly houses the bolt assembly as well as the firing pin. The firing pin is held in there by a firing pin retaining pin, which is located right here. So the first thing we're going to do is take out that firing pin retaining pin so that we can take out the firing pin. So go ahead and pull it out using your pinky or a fingernail or something like that, and put it somewhere safe. You don't want to lose any of these small pieces, because if you do, your weapon might be rendered unusable. Once you pull out the firing pin retaining pin, your firing pin should be able to slide right out without any problems. So there's your firing pin. And make sure you place that somewhere safe as well. Next, we're going to remove the bolt cam pin. To do that, you're going to depress the bolt and then move this cam pin 1/4 turn to where it's flush with the carbon tube so that we can pull it out from underneath the carbon tube. Once you have the bolt cam pin removed, set that aside, and you want to pull out your bolt assembly. It should come out without any problems. Then you can set your bolt carrier assembly to the side because that is also ready to be cleaned. The last thing we need to disassemble is the bolt assembly. The only thing to take apart on there is this round extractor, which is located on the top of the bolt assembly, and it's held in there by a retaining pin. So I like to grab my firing pin and press on one side of that retaining pin. It's going to push it out just a little bit, so go to the other side and pull it out the rest of the way. Once you have that retaining pin removed, your round extractor is free to come right out. Go ahead and set that somewhere safe, and now your bolt assembly is also completely disassembled and ready for cleaning. There you have it. You now know how to disassemble a M16 A1 rifle. Remember, it is always important to disassemble and clean your weapon routinely to ensure that it will not malfunction when the time comes to use it. Thank you.